Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here, and we're coming to you from our studios at the Capital Region International Airport. We're going to stay in town. We're going to spend a little bit of time with Keith Lambert. He is the COO of LEAP, which is the Lansing Economic Area Partnership. And welcome, my friend. It's good to have you as always, Keith. And if you would, just because we're so statewide and actually have viewers in Sydney, Australia, give us a little rundown on LEAP and what it is.
Sure. So, thank you so much for having me on the show, Chris. I'm glad to be here again. So, LEAP is an economic development organization for a region, three counties in our instance, Ingham County, Eaton County, and Clinton County is affectionately known as the Lansing region in Michigan, a lot of other names. We're a public-private partnership. We have about 80 members. A lot of that, 50 or so businesses, as well as a lot of public sector and institutional members as well that all contribute to LEAP to help us with our mission of building a more prosperous region that we serve, creating high quality jobs, helping industries invest, creating business startups, working on the built environment with real estate redevelopment, brownfield redevelopment, all those sorts of things to just build a stronger, more resilient community with a lot of economic opportunity for everybody.
Well, and as you're too young to have been there day one, which I was, I also want to tell everybody that this is primarily private sector funded. So the
It is,
membership
yep,
pays
in large
dues,
part.
and we're going to help the community for a lot of businesses. All right.
You got it.
So Keith, completion of LEAP's small town enhancement grant program, it delivered some pretty big wins out in the rural communities. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, the small town enhancement grants last year were incredibly helpful. We did projects in all three counties and in small rural towns. And they, everything from basically public space activation, placemaking. Some of them included art, but they didn't necessarily. I think of, a project in Ovid that had to do with banners. We had a project in Maple Rapids that was an old historic building that we put a pizza shop into. Then we helped with their facade. There was a bell tower that we were able to renovate in one of the towns. So there's a lot of the just very meaningful kind of community-oriented, people-first sort of focused projects ranging from like $10 to $30,000. So the type of money that is not that significant from a state grant standpoint, but very significant for these small rural towns.
Yeah, certainly is. And that's important. It's a big part of that placemaking as well, you
You
know.
got it. Yeah, and we're doing a bigger and better version of that this year than projects that are all just underway with 11 communities across the Tri-County. And this is everything right from the city of Lansing and their facade project all the way down to some of the smallest communities, including Eagle Township, and some other communities of that size of working on these same sort of community-rooted projects. So very excited about the placemaking activities, community development projects we have underway.
Regional victories. That's what we're looking for here.
You got
A big win last month when IONETIX set to invest 25.75 million in Delta Township Facility, and that's going to create 53 high-tech jobs, which is what we're looking for. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, IONETIX is such a cool company. I've been working with them for over a decade now, and they have great expertise and connection to MSU's nuclear physics program, which is prolific. We produce, I think, about 1/6 or 1/5 of all of the nuclear physicists in the country at MSU. The cyclotron program, they started that in the 60s, I believe, and now we have the facility for rare isotope beams. So LEAP has often talked about, building this industry cluster around this, and IONETIX is a great example of that actually happening. Their technology was spun out of MIT. They were headquartered in the Bay Area of California for a long time, Silicon Valley area, and they've consolidated their R&D and their manufacturing in Lansing, Michigan. And it's because of that special brain power we have from the university, from FRIB. And they just keep growing here. That they've kind of quietly moved their headquarter operations to Lansing, and now they're with this new investment, building a new facility with a new cyclotron, and getting into, they've been doing cancer therapies and for a while now, but now they're doing a specific alpha emitter that helps target cancer cells and kill just the cancer cells. So kind of the sniper rifle approach versus the shotgun approach of typical radiation that it might kill the cancer, but it's going to kill a lot of good cells too, which isn't so good with the patient. So this is kind of like the oncologist's dream, and they're making great progress. They have a new partnership with Lilly as a pharmaceutical provider, and they're off to the races and growing like gangbusters. So it's super exciting for healthcare in our region and beyond, as well as for our MedTech cluster growing good jobs and tech jobs, high wage jobs here in Lansing.
Keith, what else on horizon for the Lansing area?
Well, data centers are all the rage now. I think it's not all that unlikely that you'd catch a big announcement or two before the end of the year on that front. We're still trying to kind of figure out the new federal policy landscape and how that's affecting EVs and batteries and renewables and a bunch of other things that had been in the pipeline. So some things have stalled and on hold, but there's still a lot of good things moving on into the future, and we're here to navigate and evolve as things change on the ground. So that's happy to do that as economic developers every day.
Well, I don't mind telling you, we're all proud of the work that LEAP has done over the years, and it's just really enhanced economically this area. So pass
Thank you
that
so
on
much,
to the
Chris.
rest of the crew, would you, buddy?
Will do. Absolutely.
Appreciate it. Keith Lambert, COO at the Lansing Economic Area Partnership. You've been watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman. We'll be back with more.